Hey Soul Family, welcome. My name is Audrey. You're watching the Matrix Oracle. This is your cosmic weather forecast for the new moon in Cancer, happening July 5th, 2024. Welcome everyone. So the sacred dance between the sun and the moon, connected to our third eye. So we're having this constant dance between what we know and what we don't know that is occurring. And when we start with the new moon, there's a collective intention that we're setting. And it's happening in Cancer, and it's quite exciting because it's creating a grand trine with the rising, okay, the rising sign here for this new moon event. And what I mean is the rising sign is who you're becoming, receiving source energy and who you're becoming. Those degrees of Scorpio, which is a messenger between the seen and unseen, or unseen to seen, and those degrees where we have this beautiful sacred geometry with the new moon is talking about becoming a bridge, becoming a channel, becoming a medium. But a medium for what? So for you to receive more of your higher self. So really becoming this channel of energy. And what we're seeing is that it's actually also involving a Saturn that started this retrograde. We have also Neptune that started also this little dance, okay? To join also Pluto here. But here, this placement of Saturn in Pisces is about alchemy. So when I'm seeing this placement here in Cancer, that is the healer, okay, the healer of the heart, that speaks in those degrees of your desires to learn. Thank you. Your desire to learn alchemy. So do you see here, desire to learn alchemy, transmutation, and becoming a bridge. So what I'm seeing when I was tapping into this, I was like so excited because I was seeing that a lot of the messages that I've been giving you through the cosmic weather, through the dance of the sun and the moon, was reminding me, hey, we have to turn every negative experience into gold. We have to honor the difficulties, the challenges we've gone through. And with this energy, those 28 days that are coming ahead, you're not only just going to know this as a principle, you're going to be cosmically supported to learn how to do this. So that's exciting because, you know, there's certain things that we want to learn in life, and there's certain things that are happening in the cosmos that are propelling us to receive this. And because this is like 8th house, there's a lot of the quantum entanglement between you and different timelines. You know, when you're in relationships and you project yourself in the future, oh, this might happen and we could do this and we would buy a house, and all those create timelines. And when, for example, you separate, there could be still some fragments of yourself that is vibrating in those timelines, in those pathways. And this is where you have to do the healing work to bring yourself into the now and gather everything, okay? And that transmutation here is really important. It's happening in the 4th house, so very much about things that we experience under our home, with our family, things that, you know, maybe from childhood, but also some of you, you know, you meditate with me in the meditation temple. How you treat yourself within your own home. You are the home. You are the temple. And I love this because that also goes back to one of my last reel where I talk about the high priestess and you feeling good, being the bridge between heaven and earth. Some of you, if you meditate with me yesterday, I did this meditation and I thought it was going to be for the new moon, but it actually turned out to be a preparation for the new moon because it was showing me how we needed to create that space. And through that meditation, there was a lot of connecting from heaven to earth. But my guidance was like, Audrey, you're not looking at the astrology. You're not supposed to know what's coming. You're just supposed to feel what feels right and guide people through that. And then this morning I'm seeing like, oh yeah, makes sense. So some of you, there's a lot of things that you're learning right now through your senses, through just wanting to feel good. And what's really magical is that then you'll have the confirmation, the synchronicity. Oh, that's why I did that. That's why I was called to take that decision. That's why I decided to take that leap of faith. But in order to do this, a lot of fears and insecurities are going to have to be transmuted. And why do I say this? Saturn is connected to the root. Okay? I don't know why I heard the root of all evil. Okay? So here we're transmuting a lot of things. And when I was doing this meditation, I was seeing how we had to shed those layers and give that information, anchor that information to the crystal heart of the earth, because that's for the legacy, for the next generations. When they're connected to the earth, they're tapping into your knowledge through everything that you're grounding. You're grounding every cycle. It's really like a moon cycle. All my women out there, you'll understand, through your natural moon cycle, we're living this through the cosmic dance as well. Okay, so here for this new moon in Cancer, you're becoming your own guru because you're allowing yourself to be guided by the senses of the desire you have for feeling good. And when you feel good, you are in alignment. And when you're not in alignment, there's no need to judge that. That means there is something that is calling your attention. I'm hearing even your affection, because what we fear is usually a sign of something that is dear to us. Okay, so maybe there's something here that is dear, and sometimes not letting go of that pain could be part of you holding on to not repeat that cycle. So again, we're gonna have for the next 28 days, starting July 5th, a whole lesson, mastery coaching, okay, from the universe, okay? How to become an alchemist, how to really master transmuting our fears, our insecurities, and how to make the greatest out of that experience, really becoming. Because a lot of the challenges and the contrasts that you decided to go through, they're part of that unique gift. Those unique gifts, not just one, many gifts that are meant to be shared with others. Now, one thing that is very interesting, because I did offer a special Chiron wounded promotion reading, okay, and look at why I'm saying this. My little dear friend Chiron, if you do not know, it's like a reverse key. It's your deepest wound. We all have it. So knowing your Chiron actually supports you to become your own healer. But what I think it's interesting is that you see this new moon is squaring Chiron, so friction, okay? Friction, and then friction with the Pluto in retrograde that right now in Aquarius is teaching us the law of resonance. And boom! So this half a square called T-square is the most volatile sacred geometry you can find. And what it does, it just creates very explosive awareness or just sensation. It just depends on what you're going through. And here it's teaching through this explosion, showing you what it is exactly that is in need of reassessment. Maybe some of us are still thinking in contradiction or whole dissonance between what our vision is calling us to and what we believe, you know, because there's attachment to past experiences, to experiences and trauma that fragmented you and that you have to gather back into wholeness. So this is a very strong, cosmic alignment that will, I'm hearing poke the bear. Okay, so some of you, it's like through this phase, this is really for us to gain self-mastery on how we can align in, I'm not going to say at all times, because that is something that requires a lot of self-mastery, and sometimes through the contrast, your contrast can last a few seconds. I've done a lot of self-empowerment or self-developing seminars and things like this, and you really know that through the power of your emotions, you can switch yourself into a state like that, okay? Some of you, let me give you an example if you don't believe it. Imagine like you're home and you're just sad and you're single and you feel crappy about yourself. And all of a sudden, that person that you kind of like just texts you and say, hey, do you want to go out for a date? How many of you would just like jump out of your your depression and just feel great? So this is kind of like an example of how fast sometimes we can see that shift of state, okay? And that's what the universe is trying to help you master without the external condition, without having to need something from the outside that creates either happiness or not so happiness, okay? And that is going to give you a lot of self-mastery on allowing yourself to become this channel for this version of yourself that really wants to come forward. And like the last new moon was about almost like honoring the fact that those dreams and visions that we have and those aspirations, those are our birthrights. Now we're at a level, like now that you know this, now that you have like those visions and that you set those goals or whatever this is, you're going to learn how to maintain the vibrational alignment for the next 28 days. So you're learning how to alchemize. I like to call this turning your scars into stars, okay? So that's what we're learning. There's great support and alignment in terms of the feminine energy. You see here, a lot of planets are on the right side, creative side. A lot of those houses and themes, they're just feminine. So a lot of feminine activation, but also feminine learning and teachings. So how to follow your intuition. And what's interesting is that on the left side, we only have Pluto that is teaching us the law of resonance. And that means that your materialized reality is going to show you whether or not you're in alignment with that feminine guidance, okay? So that's what we have in terms of this new 28-day cycle. A lot of the lessons, also I'm being called, the 7th house in esoteric astrology is about your relationship between your lower self and your higher self. Okay, that means like your ego. And we see here, what I love is that I feel called to talk about this because we have another volatile T-square here between your public life, your midheaven, your becoming, your rising, and a little bit here, so kind of that relationship with yourself. But it can come through relationships. So others are going to mirror to you a lot of things that are going to support you to free yourself from your own limitations. Okay, you're being supported through the mirrors of others in your relationship, how to free yourself from some of the limitation. And that means, again, like in my little story, if you're waiting on someone to be the reason of your happiness, the universe is going to help you through this 28-day cycle to remove this condition, because that's conditioned love. And you're moving into unconditional love, especially towards yourself. So without having an external factor to be the reason for your happiness. Okay, so that's what I have for this new moon in Cancer. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you soon. Namaste.